All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back to Week 8 NFL preview here in the comment section. You know, we don't do this very often, but we got a special dedication for this episode. This one goes out to Vontae Davis. We miss you, brother. We want you back in our life. And, you know, we're going to have a quick moment of silence for you. All right, Vontae, let's get it going. PG, how you doing out there on the East Coast?
I'm good, man. Just watching this Dolphins-Texan game. It's riveting as predicted, 0-0 as the first quarter finishes off here.
Well, that's great. That's great stuff. I mean, we've all been looking forward to that all week. I mean, when you get Broccoli Rob heading into Texas, you're always going to get excited about that. Bill O'Brien, hey, the burner's going up, the burner's going down. We'll know more here by the time we get done with this particular podcast. But let's go ahead. Let's get into this NFL slate for Week 8. We're about at the halfway point. I don't know exactly where the halfway point is. There's 17 weeks, so I get confused. My little brain doesn't know how to do fractions. So I guess somewhere around Wednesday, we're at the halfway point of the NFL season. But, you know, 4-3 Dolphins and the 4-3 Texans, that's getting going. Let's talk a little bit, though, first about the England game that, hey, let's be honest, we're probably not going to watch that shit because I forget about it. And then I'll be driving around running errands and I'm like, I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, shit, because I'm, irresponsible while I'm driving around. And, I'll check that shit out and be like, oh, wow, the Eagles are playing the Jaguars. So the Eagles at the Jaguars technically, but they're going to be playing this game in London somewhere. Jags +3. They're 3-point underdogs as technically a home team. Over-under on this is 43 points. Blake Bortles, he got benched last week for Cody Kessler. Ouch. But he's back in the starting role, and he's ready to lead the Jaguars to victory this week. And maybe if they win, we might hear Jalen Ramsey talk again.
We might start talking shit again and tweeting again. But it's kind of weird to see the Jaguars at 3-4. And the Texans are 4-3, so the Jaguars aren't even at the top of that AFC South. So it's pretty wild.
Very wild. And here's a question for you. So we talked a little bit about Good Doug and Bad Doug last week. He rewards himself with delicious lunch meats, and he punishes himself Da Vinci Code style. Do you think he's taking that little pokey leather strap over there with him just in case the Jags lose, or you think he's going to wait to do that on his home turf should they fall victim to the Eagles over there in England?
That seems like a man that, he needs his deli meats. So he doesn't travel without his deli meats present. So I can't imagine him traveling without that deli meat rope thing.
Yeah. So he'll probably take that. He's going to have to stow that in his, he's not going to be able to carry that thing on though. That's for sure. He's going to have to put that in his checked bag. I don't know how that works I guess you're going to charter a plane. So I don't know what the security's like on that.
I don't think there is security, honestly. If you charter a plane, I mean, if you do something to it, it's really not, who are you going to sue yourself,
So a couple things on this. They're both a little off topic, but that's our specialty here at the comment section. Number one, I'm thinking about security on planes, and here's something that's really weird. When you go, we went over to Iraq, or you fly in commercial airplanes up until a certain point. So we flew in commercial airplanes up until we got to Kuwait, and then we switched over to military craft. And what's weird is you got to go through these security checkpoints, but you keep your assault rifle on you at all times. So they're like, hey, we need you to go through the security checkpoint. Oh, that machine gun, that's cool. You can take that, but we're going to need you to empty your pockets here to make sure you don't have anything dangerous on you. So that's always a little bit weird. And it's always funny in customs what people think they can get back to the United States. Like people will fucking try and take hand grenades or machine gun rounds, all sorts of crazy shit. We actually had a guy get busted for that. And for me, it was funny because as we were leaving the first time, one of my buddies, he went to the PX and he bought this giant tube of Vagisil.
What's a PX?
Oh, it's like a post exchange, I think is what it's short for. It's like a little store. All right. So it's a little store is what it is. So he goes to the little military store and he buys a giant thing of Vagisil. All right. And I'm like, where the fuck do you get that for? He's like, oh, I'm gonna put it in Ginsler's bag. All right. so that they find it while we're going through customs.
Awesome.
And then he gets called out for it.
That's a good prank.
It's a good prank, right? It's an even better prank when you tell me that you're going to put it in Ginsler's bag. And then when I go up to get my customs check and I dump out my bag, this fucking giant tube of Vagisil falls out of it. So I'm up in there and I'm checking out, and I dump my entire bag on there. And as I dump it, I'm like, I see this thing come out of there. I'm like, oh fuck. I don't know what to do. It's not like it's contraband, but I don't know what to do. So I grab the thing like really quick and I shove it in my pocket. And I'm like, oh, whew, thank God. That's a weight off my chest. I'm glad I didn't get caught with that thing. But I forgot all about it. And then they make you go through these metal detectors. And I don't know what every tube of Vagisil is like. I'm not an expert on them. But we go through there. And as I go through the metal detector, it beeps. It beeps. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I walk back and it beeps again. And then I reach into my pocket and I feel this thing. I'm like, oh my God. My face turns bright red and I pull it out and I'm like, I think this is why it's beeping. I think this is why it's beeping. And then my buddy and like 3 other dudes are hanging out there. They're
Listen,
laughing their asses off. They got me. That's not that big of a deal, but damn, it felt big at the time. With
that's
the embarrassment that I'd suffered.
a
And
perfect prank. No victim. It's just your ego gets bruised, and that's the perfect prank.
it's
They
a
had
good
one, a couple months ago where I guess it was like a bachelor party. Somebody put in somebody's bag like a big Ziploc bag, and in the bag was like a water bottle, like a fucking full-blown water bottle, so they're gonna stop you for that. And then in the same, Ziploc bag is like a super mega huge dildo, like one of
yeah.
put in the shower that, like, suctions to the tile, and, they're going through his bag, and they pull out the bag, and the kid's sitting there all embarrassed, everybody's screaming and laughing, and that's a good old-fashioned prank. No victims, just a bruised ego.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, you're not only you doing the dildo, you're doing like the sour, like the suction one for the shower. Like, yeah, it means it's like, oh, this is something he's using that wherever he goes. He's got it fucking set up.
He was a good sport about it too, and, like, the lady that was, the TSA agent who is very overqualified for her job, she, opened up the thing, and she was smiling, and, she knew what was going on, and it was a good prank.
Yeah, one of my other buddies who was a Marine before I was a Marine, he and one of his friends, they waited a while. They were courteous about this. They didn't do it at the beginning, but when I was in boot camp, so one of the euphemisms that we use is the big green weenie, right? Whenever something bad happens to you, like I just got fucked by the big green weenie. And they actually sent me a gigantic green dildo while I was in boot camp. And whenever you get a package, you got to open everything in front of your drill instructors. So I had to open this thing up, and you open it up, and there's this fucking giant cock inside of there.
Mhm.
And it was funny though. Like that was funny because they got the joke.
Great.
They got the joke. But if you do know anybody in boot camp, do me a favor, send them some weird shit in the mail. It'll create a little bit of fun in their life. At least maybe not in the moment,
That's a good
but it will, it'll come back. It'll be funny later on. And then here's the other thing too. So you are the king of the tinfoil hat. Yes.
I am.
You've got like a Kangol tinfoil hat, you've got a tinfoil cowboy hat, you got a tinfoil hat of any and all
I
variations.
got a tinfoil yarmulke, in case I gotta
You
go.
got tinfoil yarmulke, you got whatever, you got a tinfoil burqa. Whatever you can put on your head and make out of tinfoil, you have fashioned one of those things. Well, apparently my wife got into our kitchen drawers and she put on a tinfoil hat because there's a big conspiracy going on in England right now.
Uh-oh.
All right. So I don't know how much you know about the English royal family. Now, you keep up to speed on that? Let me guess. No?
No, not at all. I just, I don't really know what's going on over there. I just know Queen Elizabeth, she's still alive. That's pretty much all.
Okay. So it's probably more than most Americans know. So the guys in Sweden and a couple dudes in England, you know more than we do about what's going on. My wife is like a Rhodes Scholar when it comes to the British royal family, and I
Try
don't
that.
get it.
I
It's
love it.
just one of those
Yeah,
things that women like that they'll wake up at 3 in the morning to watch a royal wedding on a Saturday. I don't get it, but they'll do that sort of stuff. So
Life to lose. Trying to watch football.
yeah, so you've heard of Princess Diana, obviously, right? So Princess Di, are you familiar with her?
Of course.
So she's Princess Di is dead,
Passed
died in
away.
that,
Car
you know,
paparazzi were
yeah, that car accident with the paparazzi chasing her, all that good stuff. So
yes,
she's
there's a
got,
conspiracy that says that she's still alive and she's living in, like, Cambodia or something.
yeah, that's not a good conspiracy. But anyhow, why is the flag fucking like pointing out, man? There's no wind on the moon, bro. That's that sort of conspiracy. This is filmed on a soundstage in L.A. If you've ever seen Buzz Aldrin confront moon landing conspiracists, I think he's actually tried to fight a few of those people. Um,
He's from
good on him. But anyhow,
Boone.
so
You don't
she's got two kids. One of them, William, who's bald as fuck, just like me, and the other one, Harry, who is a redheaded fellow who just married an American girl.
I saw
So
that. The American Girl, she looks like Latina or ethnic, and I know everybody's freaking out about it because she's got some black in her, so
yeah, she's half black from what I understand. Her name is Meghan Markle.
okay.
And apparently her family is a real bunch of turds, but that's a thing for another day. So she is pregnant, right? Or is she? All right. So my wife would be in the or is she section. So
Yeah,
there's a corner of the internet that said, hey, this woman's not fucking pregnant. She's faking this thing, right? She's like the Miami Dolphins of pregnancy. She's fucking faking it.
taking it.
And she is like got like a little baby bump or something. But apparently, so my wife's getting in the full on Eddie Bravo mode and getting in these fucking wormholes about this conspiracy stuff. And she's texting back and forth with her friend about, oh, hey, did you see this article like that? And she's starting to piece all this stuff together. And it's
Oh my
like,
god.
okay, here's the deal. Like here's the theory, right? She's gonna have like a mysterious miscarriage sometime in the near future, right? Mark my fucking words. I was like, what are you gonna do when a baby pops out of this woman? She's like, we'll see. We'll see. But
Yeah.
anyhow, so what some of her pieces of evidence are, well, she went to on some what do they call that, goodwill mission, or whatever these royal fuckers do. It's of no importance, but people think it's important. Traveled around and shook hands, kissed babies, sort of deal. But apparently she did that in a bunch of these countries that have this Zika virus. I don't know what the fuck the Zika virus is at all, but apparently it's bad for you if you're pregnant. And I think it was, like I think that was one of the things when they had all that stuff in Brazil, with all the trash in the water and just the feces everywhere. Where it's like, hey, we don't want to swim or row in these waters because they're just coated in turds. So I think
Okay.
that's one of the things that's there. But apparently, if you're pregnant, you shouldn't be around really any country that has that stuff. And she went to like some countries that had that. That's a
So what, she's not
point.
pregnant now? She got the Zika virus, she's not pregnant, is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I don't know. Her contention is that she would never go to those countries if she was actually pregnant. Like if she wasn't faking it, she
Got
she
it.
wouldn't go there. And then the other thing too, she keeps like showing me these pictures. She'll like turn her iPad, like, see this? Do you see this? A pregnant woman would never hold her stomach like that. She's always doing this. Like, why is she doing this? And she's like, I don't know. Her bump looks a little lumpy. It looks like a fake. Like it looks like a fake.
But
So we'll
probably
see how.
doesn't look right. It just looks almost plastic.
Yeah, that. So we'll see how all that goes down. We'll also see how the Jags and the Eagles go down. I don't know. I mean, they still got Bortles at quarterback. I like Wentz. I like the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles as 3-point favorites. I think they might put one on the Jags early Sunday morning.
I'll just go with you. I'm not gonna watch this game anyways. I'm just gonna be sound asleep on a Sunday morning. I'm not watching that shit. But going back to conspiracy theories, I met a woman maybe last year, and this woman was, I think, cracked out on Ambien and caffeine pills, so she wasn't thinking straight. and I got to talking with her about politics, and she's diehard conservative, very conservative, and I think this was at the time when Trump was running and Hillary was getting endorsed by Michelle Obama. And they were kind of doing the woman thing, like she's a woman, so we got to stick
I'm
together. I was
I'm with her. That's what it was. Hashtag I'm
I'm with
with her.
her. And, she looked at me dead in the eye, and this woman was like, "Michelle Obama is a fucking man." And I was like, "Okay." And I tell you, like, this woman looked me dead in the eyes, and I did the same thing you did. I laughed, and I'm like, "Come on," like, it's been 8 years, if she was a man, we'd probably know by now.
Where's the
And
birth certificate at, bro? Let me see the
she
birth certificate.
"You need to see this." And I'm like, "Oh shit, this woman's dead serious." So I stopped laughing. I took her seriously. She pulls up her phone, a picture, and it was like a crudely photoshopped image of like Michelle Obama like scratching her nuts. Or it's like
It
clearly photoshopped,
it's like not even photoshopped. Somebody just cut like her head out of People magazine and then
It
taped it onto an old Sports Illustrated with Michael Jordan on the cover. And it's
was,
like, see, she used to play basketball. Don't you see? Look at the biceps.
the picture had like emojis on it, and like it was pixelated as fuck. And this lady was like, "No, his name is like Michael Stevenson or Michael Robinson, and he is a man, and he's been influencing Obama with his homosexual rhetoric." And I'm like, "Okay, strange woman, okay." And like, at that point, the conversation was over. But talking about
She
conspiracy theories,
she's like, we may have had 45 presidents, but we ain't had 45 first ladies, if you know what I'm saying.
exactly. And that's the one thing that I wanted Hillary to win because I wanted Bill Clinton to be the first woman or first
The
male.
first man. Could you
Yeah.
imagine him running around the White House fucking without
Hell yeah.
responsibilities, unchecked, just
Hell
chasing every piece of pussy in sight? Like we really missed out on that. I mean, we were
That was a missed opportunity. That was a fucking missed opportunity right there, man. Smacking chicks in the background, checking out the French prime minister's wife's ass and stuff. Like giving you the thumbs up behind the camera. Pff, missed opportunity right there.
like
Shame on
you wonder if the Me Too movement is either less intense or more intense in that situation. I
it's
don't know. I think there's a possibility it's twice as intense as it is.
it's you know, he'd be on house arrest, locked up in a room, but it's a missed opportunity. What could have been.
What could have been? What could have been with the Giants season had they not passed on a quarterback and actually picked one instead of Barkley? Maybe they wouldn't be 1-6. Maybe they have an option other than Eli Manning at quarterback. The dead man. He's as dead as that dude in The Rock. Is just twitching in the morgue. And fucking Nicolas Cage is like, "Can you do something about that? What do you want me to do? Kill him again?" And
Uh,
then obviously that's a segue to our favorite running back of all time, Adrian Peterson. Give that guy the rock.
give him the rock. Give him the rock.
Give him,
What else you want me to
give it
say?
to him.
Give
They
him the
gave
fuck.
it to him last week and it worked out. Keep doing it.
What's going on with the Giants imploding? I keep seeing these things like they traded away like all their defensive players. Like they're kind of ending the season now. I mean, understandably so. They're 1-6. They need to pretty much win out to be in the playoffs.
They're in
But
full tank mode. So they got rid of Eli Apple, former first round pick. They traded him to the Saints for a fourth rounder. I think he's seventh rounder as well. And they got rid of old Damian Snacks Harrison. What a great nickname for a defensive line, but they got rid of Snacks. I
good
think
name.
they traded him to Detroit. Don't quote me on that.
It's a
But they
trade.
got rid of him as well.
Sent him to the Saints, maybe.
No, Apple went to the Saints. I think Harrison went to the Lions, but it doesn't matter. Both those teams are trash.
Doesn't matter
This is
because
a pick 'em. Like,
game.
are you kidding me? The Giants are 1-6, Redskins 4-2. I don't pick games based on the record, but this is a 10 a.m. game for a 1-6 Giants team. We both lived in that area. That stadium's gonna be fucking dead. It's
Yeah.
gonna be dead. There's gonna be no resistance for Alex Smith. They got rid of Snacks. AP is going to run wild on him. I hope he gets 25 to 30 carries. I'm with the Redskins all day long. And the thing that has me worried about that, I was really counting on Jay Gruden making his way to Oakland next year. But if they get to 5-2, things are looking pretty pretty good for Jay, and racist owner Daniel Snyder is feeling good up in the box.
I'll tell you what, though, there's always next year. So Jay Gruden, you passed this year, but next year, can you do it again? That's the
Can
big one.
you do it again? I'll tell you what never gets done is the Browns beating the Steelers. Steelers 8-point favorites at home. Over under is 49. Oh, wait. Whoa. Number one. Hey, Coin, what do you think about that Eagles game? Oh, Coin's at the away team. He's on the Eagles. I got the Redskins in this. You got the Redskins in this, obviously. Coin. Coin's with us. That's three. That's three in a row. So put your money on that. That's easy money.
Yeah, that's easy money. Easy money.
Easy money. I'll
It's
tell you
tough.
what, I never bet on this game, Browns Steelers. Steelers always get a lot of points. It seems like they rarely cover. Once again, obviously, I have no statistics to back up any of my opinions. That's just not how things work here. But we got the Steelers at home, 3-2-1, Browns 2-4-1. I think the Steelers, whenever they're at home, Roethlisberger plays well. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Le'Veon Bell. I don't really care at this point. At this point, he's just going to piss people off, and the people he's going to piss off are the James Conner fantasy football owners, because Conner's putting up some numbers for the Steelers this year.
So what does that mean? That Bell can come back possibly? Is that what's like the talk of the town? I know that he's essentially given away $16 million worth of game checks that he's not cashing in by not playing this season.
Well,
So
he's
the
going to give away
money.
about like $7 million or something like that, because he's got to report by week 10 to get credit for the season. So as long as he reports by week 10, it will count as a year, and then then it's over with.
Okay.
So
He's probably
I
gonna
don't.
report he's gonna just sulk around and get hamstring injuries every Saturday evening and
Yeah,
not
if I'm
play.
the Steelers, I'm just gonna franchise him again, just for the fucking hell of it. Why not? Like, why not? You know, you're not gonna have to pay him, and I would just plan on him showing up again in Week 10 next year, and then just keep doing that. Just keep doing that indefinitely.
That
Why
would be
not?
crazy for him. But, fuck you, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, fuck you. Nick Chubb, he's looking good for the Browns. Baker Mayfield, he's having a up and down rookie year. I still haven't seen that Greg Williams, Todd Haley sideline fist fight. I'm still holding out hope for that. There's no reason to think that that won't come. Hugh Jackson can't coach, but he can hang on to his job, so give him credit for that. If they get smoked this week, I think the burners get turned up on Hugh, and there's a good chance he could be seeing the door sometime in the month of November, hopefully, for all Browns fans, that is.
That'd be crazy. He wins 2 games this year, and he pretty much, like, doubles his wins, but he gets fired.
I
What
don't see any way that guy is ever a head coach in the NFL again. Some people are retreads, they get a second chance. I mean, people don't realize, Pete Carroll's a retread. Bill Belichick got fired by the Browns. Lots of people get fired. They can come back from that. They can do a good job somewhere else.
Mhm.
Hugh Jackson's not that guy.
No. He's like your jester. He's like just the scapegoat guy that you have for a couple years, and then he's Romeo Crennel. He's just like a yes man. He's Romeo Crennel.
I don't think he's anywhere near as good a coach as Romeo Crennel. Romeo Crennel is not a great head
He's not a
coach.
good head coach. He's a good defensive guy, but he's not a good head coach, and that's what I
Now,
mean.
yeah,
He's
I don't even think Hugh Jackson's a good offensive guy. I don't think he fucking has a clue
I need to
about
see this
anything.
guy's resume. Honestly, where was this guy working last year or the year before that? Bennigan's? Perkins? The fuck was he doing a couple years ago?
He was the he was a coach for the Raiders, got his ass fired, and then he went to the Bengals and was the offensive coordinator there as his previous position to working for the Browns. So
Before that, he was the door greeter at Walmart. Is that what you're saying to me?
now he never actually rose to that position at Walmart. So they had to keep him in the back stocking things because they couldn't trust him with all those interactions with people, because he had to remind them constantly that he was the door greeter, the same way he has to constantly remind everyone that he is the head coach of the Browns.
Fucking
And the only time I think he forgets that is before and during the games, when he should be preparing his team and coaching them during the game. But he always remembers that, at the end of the game. I'm the head coach here. I'm going to do what I want. Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes for you. And you're going to get fucking fired. Because I don't think from Hard Knocks, I didn't get the feeling that John Dorsey was going to put up with that shit for
Yeah.
much longer. So we'll see how that goes. He's obviously, I put money before the year started on Dirk Cutter to be the first coach fired. And famous Jameis might get me to the promised land there doing what he does, but it's going to be neck and neck between Hugh Jackson and Dirk Cutter to see who gets canned first, I feel like.
I mean, we got a couple nominees too. Bill O'Brien. I still don't think Bill O'Brien's coming out of this season as a head coach.
I think you're fucking. I don't know what Bill O'Brien did to you, or what you think that he did to you, but you got a real grudge against him. I don't think he's the best coach in the world, but oh hey, spoiler alert for everybody: Texans are up 14-7. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That's pretty impressive.
That's impressive. Hey, Dolphins fans, I'm back, baby, and I ain't fucking leaving. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after Mark Schlabach. I'm the goddamn Terminator. Don't you forget about that. Once that trial wraps up in April, here come the fucking lawsuits, Mark. But anyhow, moving back on NFL action. Seahawks, the Lions. Oh, wait, we've got to pick this thing. I got the Steelers. I'll take the Steelers -8 in this situation. I'm not putting any money on this, but if I got to pick something, I'll take the Steelers.
I can't put my money on the Browns. I just can't do it. I'll take the Steelers.
Yeah, we're all tripled up again. We are in lockstep this week.
3 wise men. You already know what to do. Get your Bitcoin.
You already know what to do. Get the Bitcoins rolling. Take over, what is that? FBI surveillance vans Wi-Fi. Go ahead and take over that network and just start slowing down their Netflix, making it all choppy so you can get to your Bitcoins. You need them.
Understanding of how cryptocurrency works. That shit cracks me up.
I have no fucking idea how that works. I don't care. I'm not getting into that game. It's not a game for me. I cannot stand that wild ride. One day you're a millionaire and the next day you don't have a penny to your name. That's a strange world. It's like that movie. It's like you're the Duke brothers from Trading Places. Have you seen that movie with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy?
You know what? I've never seen that movie, but people are always quoting it. It's one of those movies I've just never seen.
It's a good movie, and you get to see Jamie Lee Curtis's boobs in that movie as well. So,
nice.
that's always, used to get excited about that in the 80s. I remember when I was like 12, 13, 14 in that just can't keep your dick in your pants, jerking it at every point in stage, like you're whipping it out and rubbing one off to Toni Braxton videos or Mariah Carey music videos, whatever the hell's going on TV. You can't get enough of it. I used to stay up. We had HBO, and I would stay up at night, and they always do the thing beforehand where it's like, this movie's rated R because of violence, adult language, and then it'd be like nudity or like brief nudity. And so I had a VCR in my room too. So I would wait. I just fucking hang out all night long, and I had this little like compilation tape. Hey, kids at home, we didn't all have fucking Pornhub growing up. We had to make do with what was available to us. So I'd just sit there and I would wait till whatever the fucking nudie scene came on. Like, record. I just fucking record it and then stop it when it was over. And then I would literally like sit through the whole fucking movie, and I'd be like, is there gonna be any more boobs? And the thing that you learn doing that is most boobs, if you're waiting for boobs in a movie, you're gonna get that, probably between the 30-minute mark and like the 70-minute mark in most movies. So for all you kids out there that don't have access to the internet, which is, I don't know, 3 people in Alabama.
To this podcast.
Yeah, you can't listen to this podcast. So, we'll have one of your friends download it on a USB drive and get that to you somehow.
Speaking of gratuitous cleavage, there's a couple movies that were like that to me. One of them was Road Trip. Road Trip came out in 2004. And no, 2004 in 2000. And there's a scene where Amy Smart, she takes her shirt off and they do like the sex scene. That was always a good one for me. I was like, what are those?
Shannon Elizabeth, American Pie. That's an all-time classic.
One, two, It's a very
everyone's familiar with that. I always hated that guy, though. I was like, God damn it, dude. How do you let that opportunity slip through your fingers, man? Like I felt like I fucked it up. I can get all sad of it. God damn, I feel like I fucked that up. I feel bad for me. I don't think
That's all.
he never even redeemed himself. I mean, maybe in one of the following movies. No one remembers American Pie 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
You
It's
didn't
kind of
have to.
like,
Pie 1 was a classic.
yeah, I think the following Revenge of the Nerds movies. Revenge of the Nerds, fucking great movie. Also filmed at my alma mater
Really?
in Tucson. Yeah, so they filmed that on the U of A campus, or at least parts of it, obviously.
Nerds.
Nerds, got your asses whooped by a bunch of goddamn nerds, and what are you gonna do about it? We're gonna fucking trash their house. Is what we're gonna do, John Goodman. That's probably what's going to happen to the Lions. The Seahawks head into town. Lions are 3-point favorites, over under 49.5. This is a boring game for me. I am very bored by the Seahawks. After Earl Thomas left, he was interesting. Him flipping off the whole sideline. That's an all-time classic. Thank you, Earl, for that. But nothing interesting here. Let's blow by this thing. I'm going to take the Lions just because why not?
I'll take the Seahawks. These just games just run really slow. I don't know what it is about the Seahawks offense. It's just not enjoyable football to watch. It's like they play the same type of football the Panthers play, but just way more boring and a lot of rapid gum chewing. I don't. I have a hard time watching those games.
They play like 1990s Big Ten football. There's nothing good there.
Gross.
But the games do move a little bit quicker. Coin, he's on the Lions with me, so we're doubled up against you. No hope for you. Just like there's no hope for the Broncos. Broncos heading into the Chiefs. Chiefs are 10-point favorites at home. Over unders at 53.5. Like I said, everybody's been all over the overs for the Chiefs. They didn't get there last week, but I think they bounced back. Their defense is terrible. Their offense is unbelievable. I think they'll show better against the Broncos than the Rams did. As Rams, I think they won 23-20 against the Broncos. But Patty Mahomes, he's not clean anymore. He's got 5 picks. I can handle that. You're gonna get that with the gunslinger, like old trebuchet arm. Pat used to buy weed from that guy Mahomes, but he's only got about half as many picks as Case Keenum, who's got 9 of them. And you know me, I'm not a Case Keenum believer. I will say this. I saw something on Twitter where he was at a book signing with his wife, and I was like, oh, there she is. The, probably 25th best coach in the NFL. I don't know why she doesn't have a job and Hugh Jackson does, but we'll see how it goes as far as the game, whether the Chiefs can cover the 10 points. I'm going to say they can. This thing's a rout, and then they just fucking run the Broncos out of the stadium.
I agree. Who's the quarterback they just got rid of? This dude.
Oh, Chad Kelly. Yeah, that was great. Did you see what happened with him?
No, from what I understand, he's got a checkered past. Like he's kind of like a
So he's
black
one of the
sheep
few
or something.
guys that can claim on his resume that he's been kicked off a high school team, he's been kicked off a college team, and he's been kicked off of an NFL team. So it is my understanding this is what happened is the Broncos had like who's there? Von Miller. So Von Miller had a really sweet Halloween party at his house. Chad Kelly apparently had like a really good time. And then he broke into somebody's house. I think he thought it was his house. He's lucky that he's not black and it wasn't his own house. And then a white lady busted in and killed him. But he broke into somebody else's house. So this is white privilege right here. He broke into somebody else's house and then just went in and sat on their couch and just shit-faced just started mumbling to everybody. So there's like a wife and a husband. They may have had like a baby in there or something as well. This is a dark situation. So he like just breaks it. He doesn't break in. Like he just like walks in the front door and then sits down on the couch and basically just pissing himself drunk. And then eventually he ends up, he gets criminal trespassing charges. But here's the thing I don't get is the cops, I think they found him down the street, like passed out in his vehicle, Tiger Woods style, after just mortar and pestling too much Vicodin. And he didn't get a DUI or anything like that. That's fucking bullshit. Like, how the hell you catch a guy in his car? He's obviously driving around drunk. You got to fucking hit him with the DUI as well. but they ended up cutting him, rightfully so. He's a troubled young man.
I'll tell you what,
Um,
man. He's lucky that didn't happen in Florida, because if you do that in Florida, you're getting shot.
Somebody's
Like,
standing their ground on you big time.
you're getting shot, and then that person's not going to jail because it's, self-defense. Speaking of Florida, I don't really want to get into anything too depressing, but there's this crazy shit that happened in Florida. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? In Bartow, which is like a little bit south of Orlando. So a lot of people don't know about Florida, but Florida is, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami. Those are like the main hubs. Those are the blue parts of the state. I'm with her. I love progression, hope, love me some Bama, or excuse me, some Barack. But there's a lot of parts in Florida that aren't like that. They're real like Trumpy. They're very conservative, very old school. And there's a city just south of Orlando called Bartow. And in Bartow, it's not the best place to raise a family. It's real sketchy. A lot of old fertilizer mills, a lot of cancer, terrible place to live. But apparently, like these two middle school girls had this plot that they were going to kill their classmates and then drink their blood. Did you hear about this?
I have not heard about this, but
Yeah. So they were just in
troubled youth these days. It's not good.
Yeah, I guess they were worshiping the devil. And so they were waiting in the bathroom, waiting to overpower like smaller children and then, grab them, kill them, and drink their blood. And this is all written down on paper, in very poor cursive and whatever.
With
But
many
it's pretty
grammatical and spelling errors and things of that nature, I would imagine.
probably not a good thing to turn into your teacher. She probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get a gold star on that one. But
Yeah, it's going to be marked up red one way or another, that piece of paper. Poorly
fucked up.
graded or well executed.
You're a
plan.
monster. But yeah,
One of
anyways,
those
it was
things.
fucking crazy. I thought you'd find that interesting.
Yeah. Aaron Hernandez, quadruple murderer. Moving on. Sunday to perhaps the most boring game. This is going to be up there for, actually, so we got the Chiefs. You got the Chiefs. Coins on the Broncos like a moron, an absolute moron. Anyhow, Ravens at the Panthers. Over-under is 44. Panthers are 2-point favorites at home. Man, Cam Newton's a pretty good quarterback. He bores the fuck out of me. Joe Flacco, we all know at this point how I feel about Joe Flacco. This is going to be just a boring grind. And I don't want any part of it. I'm going to get on Twitter and get at Scott Hansen that he better keep this shit off my TV as much as he can. Because it's going to upset me. It's going to upset the rest of the viewers. If I got to pick this game, I like the Ravens to keep sliding, and I'll take the Panthers and the 2 points.
I think the Panthers might take this. I think they're going to be able to take this game. I just have a weird feeling that the Panthers D is going to really stop Joe Flacco. Plus, Justin Tucker doesn't have enough time to get any LASIK surgery, so he's still going to be missing kicks.
That was brutal. I mean, that was a brutal loss.
Hard to watch.
Easy to watch. Fun to watch, actually. I love the failure of any NFL kicker, of any kicker at any level. You're not really football players, so you get the second easiest job. If I had to do any job for any football team, I'd want to be the punter. Like, the punter is the best job in the world.
Backup quarterback.
But yeah, what if the real quarterback gets hurt and you got to go in there and get your ass kicked? You could
throw
fucking
some interceptions and
trade it to the Colts, picks, pick your Surface Pro back up, and just grab some more pine. But I don't know. I'd rather be a punter than a kicker. We're both on the Panthers on this one. Coins a contrarian, getting a little feisty. He's going to head with the Ravens. So next game to talk about, Jets at the Bears. Bears are 7.5-point favorites. Over-under is 45. Sam Darnold is one of the few people with more interceptions than Case Keenum. Might be the only guy with more interceptions than Case Keenum. He's got 10 picks.
But last week.
Yeah, but I would contend that he is not the worst quarterback in the game. Mitch Trubisky's a liability. He's Bortles 2.0. Great running back, shitty quarterback. I'm so glad I'm not a Bears fan and we didn't trade all these picks to get Mitch Trubisky, when let's never forget that Trubisky got picked before Patty Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Let's never
Damn.
forget that. Because
Damn.
that's the sort of thing you can never forget when it comes to Mitch Trubisky. He's not just going to be a bust. He's going to be a bust that was taken behind two dudes that, hey, Watson's been up and down, but he's going to be a bust taken before two guys that are probably on their way to getting some gold jackets and hanging out in Ohio for a while.
Yeah, but he's no Jamarcus Russell, so he's always better than Jamarcus Russell.
He's spending less time at the buffet than Jamarcus has. That's for sure. I wonder what Jamarcus Russell looks like these days. He probably looks like that kicker from that YouTube video where he's just a fucking unit, just packing on the pounds. I can't imagine that guy's walking around with a six-pack at this point in time. When you're a highly paid NFL athlete and then you decide that you're just not going to fucking take care of your body, I don't think you change that when you're no longer a highly paid NFL athlete.
Yeah, it's not like you're not going to Cracker Barrel and Bob Evans anymore. You're still going there and you're still spending ludicrous amounts of money.
Yeah, they've got a fucking table with a plaque with your name on it. Just says reserved for Jamarcus. You're like, well, you're a mob boss. No one sits at your table. Get these guys the fuck away from my table.
Yeah,
So,
Bob Evans doesn't have valet, but for you, Jamarcus, we're going to have valet.
We're going to have that for you, Jamarcus. I'll tell you what, this just has the feel of the Jets keeping this thing close. I'm going to take the Jets and getting the 7.5.
I think the Bears will take it. I think the Bears defense is going to just stomp Mr. Darnold. I think it'll be a fun game to watch.
You think Mac's going to feast better than Jamarcus at an all-you-can-eat shrimp red lobster event?
I think they're going to get on him.
It?
I think they're going to get on him and they're going to fucking scare him, and then he's going to hurt his clavicle or something. I think somebody else is going to come back in.
All right, so you got the Jets. All right, you got the Bears. I got the Jets.
The Bears, yeah.
Coins with me on the Jets. So we're talking about buffets real quick. One time when I was in college, we went to Las Vegas. So I went to college out at the University of Arizona, so it's very close to Las Vegas. Made a couple trips up there. Been to Vegas a bunch of times. Been a while. Starting to itch again just talking about it right now. Love me some Vegas. So we went up there. There was only 3 of us. And did 2 things. One, I was into like lifting weights and bodybuilding like all fucking losers are in college. So I went to the Mr. Olympia contest. So I went to that alone.
God, you're a fag.
I went to that alone with my ICP t-shirt on or whatever. No, I was not wearing an ICP t-shirt.
But you were drinking Mountain Dew. You did have Taco Bell in your hand.
But I was drinking Mountain Dew, crushing Taco Bell. But I don't think Baja Blast was out yet. I'd have been drinking it then if it had been.
You were drinking Code Red.
Yeah, Code Red. Yeah, I got some Code Red. Got a fucking ICP t-shirt on.
Code
I'm
Red
just
with
wondering
some
how
whey protein
magnets
in there.
work. Yeah, I can, get my. I need 2 grams per kilogram that I weigh of protein, so I can start packing on muscle. But I went to that thing. I saw those dudes, and here's the thing: like, I don't really follow that anymore. But if they had got one of the little Netflix things, I love that shit. I love any sort of human extreme. So just watching them like absolutely push the human body to their limits, that's fascinating. So I walked by this one guy, Marcus Rule, who had never won anything, but he was like a top 10 competitor during that period of time. And he was maybe like 5'8", 5'10", I don't know. But he was 300 fucking pounds of muscle at like 3 to 4% body fat and no water in his body.
Jeez.
And it was like a damn fridge waddling down like the hallway of the hotel. I think it was at Mandalay Bay. But anyhow, my buddy goes by the moniker Looney, at least at the time. He's a lame ass motherfucker with kids now, so he ain't Looney anymore. It's like we had 3 guys that are Loonies, and my wife met one of them at a wedding. She's never more disappointed to meet anyone in her life. Like literally, because this guy Looney, what was his name? Looney John. So Looney John was like a fucking terror. Like he terrorized me when I was at the fraternity, and even like while I was the president. So this guy would go out, and his room was right above mine, and like I partied hard, but I also like fucking went to class and did work and shit because you got to do that to get somewhere in life at a certain point. And he'd come home on like a random Tuesday, and he got fucking obsessed with that 50 Cent Party Like It's Your Birthday song. And he had these, 8-foot tall fucking subwoofers, wherever the hell they were. At 2 a.m, he'd come back wasted and just be bumping everything. So I'd always have to take my ass up there, chew everyone's ass out, kick fucking people out of the house, and be like, John, what the fuck are you doing, man? It's Tuesday. It's 2:30 a.m, man. People got shit to do. He'd just sit there all wasted. He'd be like, why are you always picking on me, man? I was like, dude, I'm not always picking on you. I'm not fucking with you at like 3 p.m. I'm coming up here in the middle of the goddamn night. And also, bro, guess what, man? Your birthday was 3 fucking weeks ago. It ain't your fucking birthday anymore. You need to turn this shit off. All right? Turn it the fuck off. So, but anyhow, this other loony, we went to Vegas with him, and we went to the this fucking buffet. I think it's at the Rio, but it's like a round the world buffet. So obviously Vegas is gambling, buffets, all that sort of stuff. This is my personal favorite because it's got, Chinese food, Italian food, seafood, all this sort of stuff. So we go there, we're hungover, we hit up the buffet. Me and my other buddy, we grab a couple plates, put it down, and hit a wall. And then Looney just sits there, and he is going back and forth to the fucking seafood part of this buffet.
Oh,
just crushing this thing, man. Like just crushing it. And he's really focused on these crab legs and something else. I just remember the crab legs stick in my mind. It was like that scene from The Simpsons where Homer gets kicked out of the buffet. Then they have the trial. And like the dude's asking his wife, he's asking Marge, he's like, and what did you guys do after you left the buffet? She's like, we went fishing. Like, we went fishing. It's like, does that sound like a man who had all he could eat? Doesn't sound like that to me. But anyhow, we sat there, and after about half an hour just watching him just pick apart these crab legs in the most disgusting manner, we were like, hey, dude, you got to stop. Like, you're going to get iodine poisoning if you fucking keep eating this much shit. Like, if you keep eating that much shit, you're going to get iodine poisoning. And there's a pretty decent chance that Khalil Mack gets himself some Sam Darnold poisoning. He's going to eat that fucker up. But still, I like the Jets to keep it within, keep it within that 7.5. Moving on to the next game, Buccaneers at the Bengals. Bengals are 4-point favorites at home. Over-under is 54.5. Famous Jameis is back. Of course, we had that one last week. Thank you, Famous. Thank you, whoever that announcer was, because he didn't fucking see that guy. That was classic Jameis. I think we got more classic Jameis on the way. This could be another nail. I don't think it's the final nail, but another nail in Dirk Cutter's coffin. They got rid of Mike Smith. That's how these things start. So first you fire your coordinator. Then you get a ringing endorsement from either the owner or the GM, and then you get fired. So I'm just waiting for that endorsement from the GM about how Dirk Cutter's doing a good job, and then we could probably count on him getting fired about a week later.
They did win last week, so before that they lost 3 in a row. So it's not looking good for the Bucs. I think the Dolphins are faking it. I think the Tampa's faking it. I think it's all gonna spiral out of control after this week.
I'd agree with you there. I like the Bengals in those 4 points. I'm going to take that all day. That's a good money bet for me. I'll be putting some of my real money, not just my Bitcoin, but my real actual United States currency on this one.
Right. I'll take the Bucs. Or I'll take the Bengals with you.
All right, we're tripled up there. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. We got
This
a triple
next
threat.
game, though. This next game, I don't know. This seems like a pretty unwatchable game that can get fucking out of hand. The Colts and the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, this is a true home game for the Raiders, it looks like. And they're playing the World Series right now. The Raiders aren't in it, so I'm interested to see, they spray painted that dirt or if they've got actual turf out there.
They spray painted it.
Yeah, spray painted it, that's for sure. Be a tough day for the kickers once again. John Gruden's doing a fucking fire sale. Derek Unicycle, you're next. I got a feeling. The thing is, I think they're just going
to this year, bro. He's been so bad. 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
He's been bad for a couple years. He really has been. Marshawn Lynch is on IR.
2 years ago where he was okay. 2 years ago, he didn't have a bad year. They made the playoffs.
They're 12-4 that one year. Then he got hurt. I think in the last game or in the playoff
Yeah,
game,
he
something
got
like
knocked
that.
out. Then I think what's his face came in.
I think they had Matt McGloin or somebody had to play quarterback. That's a kiss of death right there. But
Yeah.
Andrew Luck, he's throwing the fuck out of the ball. They are really testing every fiber in that healed shoulder. It's
Yeah,
held
those
up
rubber
well so
bands look
far.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, those are strong rubber bands. John Gruden, he's going to trade at least 2 more players after this game. Doesn't matter who it is. Dude's got 5 first-round draft picks over the next 2 years, 3 next year.
That's
He's having a
crazy.
fire sale.
That's fucking crazy. I can't believe they just gave him the keys to the team like that. Just like that. Gave him the keys.
They gave him $100 million. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants to. And why wouldn't he? They're terrible. Go ahead and just start tearing this thing down. Get it back. Get it all the way down to the studs. And then just start building it back up. Raiders are 3-point dogs at home. Over under is 50.5. I'm going to take the Colts here, given 3.
I'll take the Colts. The female escorts in Oakland are very scared for their lives. They're hoping that the Colts are not in, or that the Raiders aren't in full-blown tank mode. Because if the Colts win, somebody's disappearing.
Someone's disappearing after visiting Jim Irsay's hotel room. 100%. The thing is, I don't think they stay overnight on these things. I think they fly back.
The smart ones leave.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the team.
Yeah, the team. Yeah, it's kind of like number one safety tip for women when they try and get abducted is never go to the second location. Like the second location is always a bad spot. So just whenever you meet Jim at a bar or anything like that, never go.
Run.
Go to the second location. Just scream.
It's like American Psycho, You take the money, and you walk away from that limo. Don't get in the limo.
Don't get in the limo.
It's over.
He's
not pouring you virgin wine. He's sprinkling something in that wine. Okay.
Yeah.
And it aren't fun pills. It's danger pills. Okay.
Those are danger pills.
I got a crazy story for you. Speaking of like escorts and women disappearing. I dated a chick back when I was in college, and her friend of her mother, or some mother, something, whatever. I guess she was planning on going on a date with this guy. The guy was very handsome. He was very charming. He was a very nice guy. And she told him, hey, I want to still go on a date with you to Bennigan's or Chili's or whatever the fuck people do in the 80s, 90s. But I want to get your personal information. I want to give that personal information to a good friend of mine because there's been a string of disappearances of women and murders of women. And I don't want to, obviously that's not you, but I just want to.
She's like, I really want these mott sticks, but not enough to die for them.
Right. From what I understand, is a charming guy. So I just want to make sure that, everything's fine. Well, the guy got really offended. He got cold feet and he took off and he said, this is unbelievable. You're crazy. I can't believe, you're making me do this, blah, 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 blah. I think months go by, weeks go by, whatever. The guy that she was slated to go on a date with was the guy, Ted Bundy, I think his name was the guy up in Gainesville, Florida. Yeah. So talk about dodging a bullet. Like she dodged a bullet because she's still alive and didn't get murdered. It was the guy killing chicks back in Gainesville in like the 80s, 90s.
She dodged something way worse than a bullet. Like, holy fuck. Like, so that's good.
Yeah, so she almost died. So to the escorts in Oakland listening, be very careful this weekend. You see that red-faced goblin, just walk away.
Walk away. Hey, we're speculating. Let's be clear about this. We're speculating. We don't have any hard evidence that Jim Irsay is a murderer. We only have hard evidence that he is a drug addict, that he is a criminal, and that he will get behind the wheel and attempt to murder people. But we don't have any evidence that he has actually, killed any hookers. It's speculation, but reasonable speculation in my mind.
Very reasonable speculation. I've got all the evidence I need, brother.
Well, here's the thing. Jim blacks out so much, he can't be sure that he hasn't. Like, yeah. That's the number one thing. Hey, Jim's lost so much of his life.
Bro. Yeah. We're just asking questions.
I'm just asking the question. That's all we're doing. We're just asking questions. Here's a question for the coin. Who you want here? All right, coin's on the Colts too. So, well, we are in just tacit agreement today. This is lovely. What's not lovely is this next game. We're gonna fucking bust right through this. Niners at
Oh
the
my
Cardinals.
God.
Let's not even talk about it. Don't even talk about it. Who you got? Cardinals +1. Over under is 42.5. What do you want on this thing?
I don't care. Just whatever.
We're all gonna go with the coin. Fuck it. All right, coin's got the home team. We're all Cardinals fans this week. Let's
I'm a
just
Josh Rosen fan this week. Let's keep it moving.
let's rocket ship our way out of that thing into the afternoon. Well, that is an afternoon game actually.
Yeah,
These last two
Packers
have been.
Rams.
Packers at the Rams. So
Crazy to see the Packers 3-2-1.
It's crazy to see them 3-2-1, and then what's crazier? This is one of the biggest spreads Aaron Rodgers has faced in his career. If I'm betting this thing, I don't think the Packers can win it, but 9.5. So the Rams are 9.5 point favorites at home. 56.5 is the over. I absolutely love the Packers in this thing with that 9.5 points. And this is a great game for a tease as well. All right, if you could tease the Packers up to 19.5, loving that. Really loving that thing.
I think the Packers might take this, man. I think Aaron Rodgers, he's seen Ndamukong Suh. He's really good against good defenses. I think these blitz packages they're going to come up with, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to read those fucking things like a book. I think he's going to be able to tear this defense up.
And they're coming off a bye, too. So they've been doing nothing but looking at Rams tape for the last 2 weeks. 9.5 is too many points. I'm going to take the Packers all day, plus 9.5.
I'm taking the Packers with you. Let's see what the coin says.
Coin he's a Southern California fan, one of the 4 Rams fans out there. The Rams actually have a few fans. They're not like the Chargers, but it's still very fair weather out there in LA. Everyone's just excited about LeBron. They don't give a shit about anything that's going on outside of that. There's too much sunshine, too much stuff to do.
Yeah.
Unlike the people in Minnesota, all they care about 2 things: the Vikings and what the fuck is going on with Jimmy Butler.
I was going to say they care about 2 things: the Vikings and getting the fuck away from Jimmy Butler.
They need him. They need him, apparently. That's what Jimmy thinks. Apparently the Rockets think they need him too. Daryl Morey, the Rockets general manager, he doesn't give a shit about draft picks. And rightfully so. If you're the Rockets and you're saying to yourself, we got James Harden.
We're trying to win now.
You really want to win now. I mean, you never know what your window is. You know, if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt last year, they're up 3-2 against the Warriors.
Yeah,
there's a reasonable chance they could win one of those last 2 games, and history's looking completely different right now.
What about Jimmy Butler coming off the bench? Can you imagine that as like the 6th man coming in, like ferocious as fuck?
I don't think they would
compete against that.
They would be able to do that, but I mean, they got Carmelo coming off the bench. I've never been a Carmelo Anthony fan. He's a sneaky, dirty. And he's fucking been he's been washed. He's just washed. He's the NBA version of Eli, minus the 2 championship rings. He's been overrated and he's washed as fuck
for a very long time.
But the Rockets
I knew a guy a long time ago that when Carmelo Anthony got traded to the Knicks, everybody's freaking out about it. Everybody already had the jerseys. And I knew this one guy, I forget his name. It was like Ethan or Brad or some shit. And he was like so upset. He was like, this is going to be 3 or 4 years of fucking shit show. It's going to be garbage. He was the only one. And he was right. He was fucking right.
He called it. Nostradamus it. And then I don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler, but if someone's going to give you 4 first-round picks, even if they're shitty first-round picks, like, you know, Houston's going to be picking in the 20s no matter what. But you may be able to package those with something else along the way to get rid of a contract you don't like, or to, you know, get somebody else in the building. I mean, Butler's gone at the end of the year. You're never going to fucking get anything more than that. So Tom Thibodeau is a stubborn man. Whoever that guy is, Taylor is the owner. I don't know what his first name is. Doesn't matter. But they're worried about Jimmy Butler, and then they're worried about the Vikings. So this is a Sunday night game. This is going to be a good one. Saints going into Minnesota. It's a pick 'em. Over-under is 52. Kirk Cousins, sneaky good year. He's no Drew Brees. Drew Brees, still no interceptions.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Say incroyable, as they say in New Orleans. It's fucking incredible. Good job, Drew Brees. This is a good one for the over.
I think this is going to be a fucking shootout. I
It's
think
gonna,
this game
yeah.
is going to be an absolute fucking shootout.
I'm with you on that. Vikings defense hasn't been what it's been in years past. Saints defense
The
is
defense is
terrible.
garbage. Yeah.
That Marcus Williams last week
Secondary is
against
trash.
the
So
that
Drew
they
Brees is
played the
going to have a
Ravens last
feast.
week.
And then
He
Kirk
had
Cousins is
another
going to
one of
see his.
those Minnesota Miracle tackles where he
Oh
just
yeah, this is the redemption
fucking
game.
whiffed.
Yeah, this is a redemption game.
Yeah, it did. I hope Sean Payton gets to doing that fucking Viking clap again at the end
Oh
of the game.
hell yeah! I want to see that skull clap, baby. Oh
Get
my
up
god, I
big
want
and
to
give
see
it
that.
to him, Sean. Bring it back. Get it back out of the toolbox. Put it into play. I want to see that shit. Drew Brees has been on fire. There's going to be some very dangerous times for stray animals on the road because Mike Zimmer is going to be pissed. I got the Saints coming out of this one with the victory.
I'll take the Saints too. One final note before we move forward. Did you see the thing about Sean Payton's like little brother works at like a mattress firm in New Jersey? Did you hear
I
about this?
have not seen anything. I've not heard about that. I've not seen that.
I guess Joe Flacco was mic'd up, and he actually at the end of the game where he lost to Sean Payton, he walks up to Sean Payton. He says, "Hey, I bought a mattress from this dude in like New Jersey, and he looked just like you." And they got to talking, and he figured out it was Sean Payton's little brother. And Sean Payton's like, "Yeah, that's my little brother." And then I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, of course his little brother works at fucking mattress firm. Of course he works at mattress firm.
He works at mattress
funny.
firm. He's got a drug problem, and he's always calling Sean, looking to bail him out. Right? He's like, I need you to bail me out again, buddy. It's like you're making enough.
I guess it's good to have an older brother that is, making millions of dollars because technically you can go around breaking laws as long as you're not doing serious jail time. Little misdemeanor burglary, some drunken driving here and there. Must be nice.
Maybe a little bit of embezzlement from mattress firm. Go ahead and take take $200 off of that.
Yeah, steal 2017 mattresses, sell them out the back. I don't know. I fucking was doing the stock. I don't know what happened to these mattresses. They just kind of disappeared. I don't know.
Just leaving like a little just a little wedge in the doorway. All right, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and lock up, Bill. All right, we'll see you later. I'm leaving today. And just wait in the parking lot, your fucking rented U-Haul truck, and then circle around back, throw a bunch of Comfort Light mattresses in there, and then just start selling them on eBay. That's how people get caught. They just sell shit on eBay. You got to find a better way to do that.
I knew a guy that used to do that, man. Used to work at a mall, like at one of those retailers. I'll just throw out some names, like one of those, like Hollister.
I think I know that same guy. Did he
American
work at
Eagle?
Did he work at like Nordstrom? I think he worked at Nordstrom.
No, that's actually somebody that we might know. Very similar story, but what they would do is, they would take product and they would, there's so much. It's like a volume game. These shirts are made for $2. Some poor kid in Nicaragua is making it with a gun to his head for pennies on the dollar. So it's just a volume game. So they're selling it for $20 a t-shirt. It's costing them $1 to make. So whatever, they sell 2 shirts, they made a lot of profit. So what they would do is they would take the clothes, all the extra shit from like the year before, and just bring it out the back in trash bags, and then take out the trash. And then like people would come in and just buy the shit off them. And they would make a lot of money doing that. And I think they ended up getting caught at some point. So joke's on them. But
talking about finding good things in the trash. Let's pick this game real quick. I got the Saints, you got the Saints, and the coin's with us. All right, good coin. We're tripled up. Talking about finding things in the trash. When I was in college, I did not personally find this stuff, but I was part of it on the back end. Have you seen the movie Super Troopers? Lots of people have. Very good movie. All right. When they find all that weed in the van, and it's those giant cellophane bricks of weed.
You mean the truck?
Yeah, the truck, whatever it is. Like, when the guy's got the shotgun, he's like, pour it on, or whatever he says, and they're standing in front of all that pot. It's those giant bricks of weed. Well, my buddies are at a bar one night. I'm there too, but I end up leaving a little early. Thank goodness. Shit goes south. One of my buddies breaks a pool stick over an Indian guy's face. They end up leaving the bar,
Like
but
a
during
Native American or like
yeah,
a
Native
like an Indian
American.
guy?
Yeah, Native American.
Ooh.
I don't know, yeah, Native American. Anyhow, so he breaks it over a Native American's face and big fight, whatever. And that's the good lesson to anybody. Number one rule of bar fighting. Look, number one, be aware of your surroundings. Number two, look for the pool stick. Because that is a fucking number one weapon in any bar. You've got range, you've got reach, you got pretty good accuracy with it. You want to make sure you're swinging the heavy end of that shit, though. So flip it around, swing it like a baseball bat. You're in a good spot. But during the course of that night, they overhear something about this guy who had to like get rid of a bunch of weed because the cops were on him or something like that. And he had to dump everything in this dumpster behind some, I don't know, some fucking place. So they get in the
Chipotle. We'll say
behind Chipotle. So they get in the truck, and I'm pretty sure they drunk drove to do this. I'm not encouraged. Call a fucking Uber, everybody. They didn't have that back in 2004. So call an Uber, everyone. Don't endorse drunk driving. But anyhow, they go and they found like 4 of those fucking Super Trooper sized
Really?
weed blocks, right? And they take them all back to their house. Like, I don't know, you're a little hesitant to do that, I guess. Someone's could come looking for that at some point, right?
Yeah.
That's
Have you not
that's a
seen
plot of a
No
lot of
Country for
movies.
Old Men? Yeah.
That's a
come on.
plot of a lot of fucking movies.
Jesus.
That one in particular. But so they do that and they bring it all back and then they unwrap it and there's fucking like nothing in there, right? It was just a big pile of trash. Except there was like a bunch of crumbs in all of it. So what they did is they laid down a bed sheet and then they just opened up all the trash and then like, fucking feathered it out and scraped the, the bottom of the pan, licking the cookie dough out of there. And they ended up with like 2 ounces of weed out of that, which, hey, when
so there
you're,
was weed.
there was like a little bit. I mean, you would think there was like 50 pounds or something, but they'd been like kind of emptied and then batched up and then disposed of. But whoever emptied it out didn't kind of scrape it clean. So they ended up, with like 2 ounces of weed. And that was a good couple weeks for everybody that was kind of in association with anyone who knew those guys. Not me. I would never partake in anything like that.
Oh, God, no. You know.
Never. I'm a teetotaler. Never partake.
What's a teetotaler?
Teetotaler is somebody who doesn't drink or do drugs. So somebody like me.
Like a Mormon?
No, I mean, kind of, but not with you don't need to necessarily have a religious bend to it. You're just like, okay. I don't drink or do drugs.
Like a pussy.
Yeah, like a pussy, like Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady probably doesn't drink or do drugs. He sleeps in like a cryogenic chamber. But that's going to get him ready to take down the Bills this week. That's a Monday night game. So we'll get the pleasure of having Booger McFarland ruin this for everybody. As the Patriots head into Buffalo, they're 14-point favorites. Big question. Are we going to see Nate Peterman? We're going to see him. Derek Anderson had a bad week last week, but I think the thinking there has got to be, hey, one more week of reps at practice with Derek Anderson. He should still be far superior to anything that Nathan Peterman can provide.
Yeah, I don't really care about who shows up as the Bills quarterback. The question that I want to have answered is the Boogermobile going to show up? Have you seen about the Boogermobile? Have you seen
People hate the Boogermobile, and I would fucking hate it too. Like, if the Boogermobile was in my way, and I had a few cocktails, which I wouldn't do, like we talked about, but if I would have a few cocktails, that Boogermobile would not stay in my section for very long. I would get him to move the fuck on real quick. Like real quick. How would you do that?
Like verbal, would you ostracize him?
I would do nothing but scream at that guy. I would do nothing but scream at that guy for as long as he was within earshot. I'd be like, move your fucking Boogermobile. Like whatever. I'd come with the playlist. Back when I was in college, our fraternity house had a balcony, and we were right across the street from the women's softball field. At University of Arizona, we have a fan-fucking-tastic softball program. And back in the early 2000s, Yeah, Jenny Finch, she's one of the big names to come out in the softball world. She's like this 6 foot tall, just drop dead gorgeous blonde girl who throws like a 98-mile-an-hour softball pitch. She's just like a fucking monster. So we became huge Arizona softball fans because what we could do is we just looked up the other team, and then what we would do is we would basically target their right fielder. Now we would come after them all fucking game.
Yeah.
All right. Because they're the person closest to us. They're the ones, getting the business. Our home sideline was on the third base side. Is that left field? No, it's left field. So that's left field. Same position Barry Bonds played as his head fucking rapidly expanded for his HGH and, steroid abuse. So same position as Barry Bonds. Anyhow, we would fucking come after these people, but we had very certain rules because we were rowdy, but we couldn't swear, because these were self-imposed rules because we didn't want to, because we had people's attention and we couldn't get like the cops coming up or any of that stuff.
Sure.
So we had to kind of do it with a little bit of,
Class.
bit of like, I wouldn't call it class, but a little bit of like tact and nuance, right? So at a certain point, this one woman, she actually screamed up at us. She's like, why don't you guys just show some class? This is ridiculous. So my idea worked out swimmingly. We all went inside and put fucking suit coats on and then came back out drunker, louder, and angrier than ever. And we're just like, hey, lady, how's this for class? And then just kept coming at people, kept coming at them hard. So, but we love doing that. And that's kind of the same sort of tactics I'd use with Booger, is I'd realize that me screaming at him mercilessly was going to draw attention to myself. So you got to stay within like a very narrow boundary. You can't be like, fuck you, Booger, you fucking piece of shit. Yeah. You got to be like, Booger, move your mobile, move your freaking thing. You got to use like, like you're a dad of a 5-year-old. Same sort of language.
If I had a little bit more of like crowd control, if I could like woo the crowd with me, what I would do to get rid of the Booger mobile, I'd probably do like the Lion King intro, but like try to get like a group of us. So make me like just try to do that, but in sync, like maybe 8 or 9 of us, just a hammer drunk screaming that, because it's it's the Lion King soundtrack. It's there's no words in there. Like you can't concentrate if you hear that behind you.
You can't.
But I saw this thing and it's absurd. It's like a 42-inch TV. Like you paid money to go watch a football game, and then there's a 42-inch TV in front of you.
If I wanted to watch it on a 42-inch TV, I'd go down to my guest room where the fucking smallest TV in my house is located. I got a bigger TV than that in my living room. Like, get the fuck out of here. I didn't pay $200 to watch you ruin the game for me. I could have you ruin the game for me for free, Booger, by watching it at home. Like, this is unacceptable.
Fucking Booger cracks me up.
Man, whoever the producers are that thought that Wit and Booger combo is going to work are just madmen, and they refuse to do it. I mean, that was funny. You sent me that, what was that, Foam Zone thing?
Yeah,
whatever it was. That's some of the worst, like, in-program advertising anybody's ever seen.
Well, it's a lot of this goes to like these networks. They're coming out with handicapped ideas. Like right now I'm watching the game and it has Jonah Hill is on there shooting the shit with like Howie like hanging out.
That's like, stupid, but I hear Jonah Hill's got a new movie called Mid-90s that's dope as fuck. I'm excited to watch that. So if you haven't seen that, heard about that, you need to check that out. I think that's coming out tomorrow. Mid-90s? Yeah, it's called Mid-90s. It's kind of like I think it's a skate park themed movie set in the mid-90s. And it's supposed to be just really great nostalgia for people like you and I that grew up during that time period. But let's go ahead and pick this game. Pats at the Bills. 14's a big nut to lay. But, I mean, how the fuck do the Bills keep it close? I think they're probably going to rest Gronk another week. I don't know what his status is. It doesn't actually matter. Sony Michel's day to day, week to week. He probably won't play either. Why would you do that? Why would you risk people's health against the Bills? So that may contribute to keeping it close. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think the
take
Bills.
Tommy, Bill, and the 14 points.
I think the Bills might be able to cover just because Bill Belichick's a fucking madman. He might put up 3 touchdowns and then be like, okay, everybody play at like 70 to 60%, and then the
I don't
Bills will
think
kind
I
of
don't think Bill Belichick in his life has ever told anyone to do anything at 60 or 70%. I don't think
I don't
that's ever
know.
happened.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't say that out loud, but he probably pulls Tommy aside and says, "Hey, don't get hurt. Just check down everything. Let somebody else get hurt."
When I was in
Whatever.
junior high school, I got this kid. His name was Tony. He was the kicker of the. He was a kicker on our team, and then he played running backs. You know, when you're young, you play like 9 different positions. But we always played our games on, I think, Thursday. So Wednesday we'd always have like a little practice where you just had your helmet on and you wore like, you know, like your uniform, like your jersey, and it's kind of like just a little walkthrough. And he did this thing where everyone's going, like you said, like 60, 70% maximum, probably like 25 to 30%. Like it's a real low volume sort of deal.
Sure.
And he kicks the ball off, and this dude's going 100. He's going 100.
Oh no.
And then he goes down and he just applesauces this guy, fucking crushes him. And that angers our coach tremendously. And he's like, I'm tired of these goddamn Wednesday night all-stars. Like, quit with that shit. Because people would just fucking not do anything during the week. And then they would like try and go balls out while we're just walking through shit, trying to get stuff ready. Don't be that guy. Don't be Tony. I got the Pats. You got the Bills. Where you at, Coin? Yeah, Coin's with me. All right, loyalty to Bill Belichick. I'm gonna close it out here with a quick story, a little quick update. So I was talking a little bit about Recruit Moss last week. So Recruit Moss is a young man that I hung out with in boot camp who, well, he's an interesting looking guy physically. Like
Is
I
this
said,
the guy that looks like Sloth with
so
glasses?
yeah, this is a
Okay.
guy that looks like Sloth. So Recruit Moss, about 6'5". And he's probably 250 when he got there. He probably lost about 50 pounds during boot camp. Good for him. Everybody does. You come out of
Nice.
there skinny as fuck. Because it's like prison, but with lots of push-ups. So he come out of there in pretty good shape. And what's funny about that is you actually eat prison food. The same supplier to numerous penal institutions across the country supplies food to the Marine Corps Depot. Sodexo is the name of that company. They're fucking trash. I hate you. Go fuck yourselves. Everybody
Fuck
that
you
works
and
at
your snack
Sodexo.
packs.
Yeah, and your greasy ass snack packs. So, but anyhow, one of the things you don't think about before you go to boot camp, there's a whole bunch of things you don't think about. But when you get 100 people in the room, there's going to be someone who's a bedwetter. All right. And there's probably going to be a couple people that are bedwetters.
Really?
Absolutely. But that is exacerbated by this nightly ritual. So one of the things that drill instructors have to do is they have to make sure that you stay hydrated. All right, that's part of their job. So one of the ways they make sure that you do that is you take a canteen, which is probably about 1 liter of water, and they make you fill it full. And then at the end of the night, they're like, prepare to hydrate. And then everyone in the little platoon screams back, prepare to hydrate. Aye, aye, sir. And then you hold this canteen out in front of you and they're like, hydrate. And then you take it. This is right before you fucking go to bed. This is the last thing any sane person would do. And then you drink you chug an entire liter of water before you go to bed. It's fucking stupid. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
You're retarded.
Yeah.
I don't give my dog like a giant bowl of water for that same reason, because he's gonna want to pee in the middle of the night.
Exactly. So you are peeing in the middle of the night. But here's what happens. You are fucking tired. I never pissed my pants, by the way. I'm going to come out on the record. I never once pissed my pants in boot camp, all right? So, but many people did. I don't think less of you for doing that because I understand the circumstances. Because what happens is they force feed you that water, and then you are just exhausted. You're absolutely exhausted. You've been up since 5 a.m. You're fucking dead to the world. You go to sleep and you wake up and wouldn't you know it, your fucking bed sheets are wet, and then you're down in the laundromat at 3 a.m. washing your shit up, and just feeling the shame of having pissed your pants, pissed your bed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Awesome. It's a great thing to have to endure, for whoever had to endure that humiliation. And Recruit Moss, some people I bet did it once or twice and got away with it. Recruit Moss was a serial bedwetter. Now, the other thing with the drinking strategy is I got wise to that. So here's one of the things that they'll do is so they have you hold the thing out in front of you and they're like, prepare to hydrate. So what some people prepare to hydrate, sir. So what some people will do is, and you get used to do this, they would kind of like air drink. So there's like at this point in time, there's like one drill instructor left, maybe two. Most of them have gone home. And what they'll do is they'll be like, drop them. All right. So you drop them. And when you drop a full canteen, it thuds on the ground and it doesn't move. Right. When you drop an empty canteen, it bangs against the ground and then bounces all over the squad bay. So they're like, Fred, hydrate, sir. And then you drop it. And then there's always one fucking asshole who's got no water in his canteen because he doesn't want to piss his pants at night, right? I mean, he's got his reasons. Like, I get it, and whatever, but you're fucking us over because what happens is as soon as that thing bounces across there, they send that dude into the the bathroom to fill up his canteen in the sink. Then we all drink a canteen of water, and then, hey, guess what? We all get to fill them up and do it again. So let's just drink a half a gallon of water right before we go to bed. Okay. So that's ridiculous. What I got into, the little scheme that I worked at, is I found like the perfect amount of water. If you fill that thing about a third full, you get a nice thud, but then you don't have to drink an entire liter of water before you go to bed. It's like a nice, refreshing good night glass of water without the danger of like wetting your pants all night. So if you're heading into boot camp at some point, that's just some solid advice for everybody. So at a certain point in time, Recruit Moss, he's pissing his pants. Like he's pissing his pants like on the reg. And he has convinced himself he's not a very well-liked person in the platoon. He's just not. Not everyone's got a million friends. People don't like him. Drill instructors picked on him. And we kind of picked on him a little bit too. All right? Yeah, it's just the way life is. So he went to our senior drill instructor, and I can't remember. Oh, so he is on the fucking top bunk. All right. He's on the top bunk. And he went to our senior drill instructor and he said, hey, man, someone is pissing on me in the middle of the night. Like, somebody's fucking pissing on me. I keep waking up covered in piss, and I am convinced that these motherfuckers are pissing all over me. All right, that we had a coordinated effort to piss on this kid in the middle of the night. And our senior drill instructor took him at his word.
Oh, no.
And we got fucked up. We got fucked up for doing that until the truth came out. So you guys got these guys like Firewatch in the middle of the night. They're called Firewatch, little security guys. Your job is to like make sure no one's breaking in and or leaving. And then additionally, you kind of sweep up and do all this other bullshit. So one night, this guy on Firewatch is walking around killing some time, and he hears drip, drip, drip coming from the direction of fucking Moss's bed.
And this is after the fact. This is after he said that you guys were pissing on him.
So this is after he fucking said we were pissing on him, right?
Oh, no.
So he does, whoever this guy was, I don't remember who he was, he does the fucking smart thing. He goes and he raps on the duty hut and gets one of our other drill instructors and is like, hey man, come on, come fuck out here. Come see this shit. And then the drill instructor comes out and he sees it. He's like, nasty fucking pig. Nasty fucking pig.
You fucking dirty girl.
Nasty pig. He shakes him awake and he's like, get your fucking ass out of here. Go clean these fucking sheets up, bitch. So he goes and does that, and then he reports back to our senior drill instructor. And he goes, so then the senior drill instructor is like, hey, man, fuck you. So Moss had to get up in front of the platoon and give us a very tearful apology for the fact that he was not getting pissed on in the middle of the night, but was actually pissing his own pants. And then it finishes up towards the end of our fucking time there. So I was a scribe, which is the greatest position in the history of boot camp because you're in charge of the fire watch roster. You got a lot of like hidden little powers that you can exercise at your own whim as things go along. Don't be a squad leader. Don't be a guide. You want to be a scribe. That's a position to be in. So anyhow, me and my other scribe buddies were in this little closet. It's called the whiskey locker. It's where we keep some uniforms, some cleaning supplies, some other shit like that. So we're in there and we're doing some late night paperwork. And the door opens and it's fucking Moss standing there. And he's standing there in his underpants and his fucking little green t-shirt. And I'm like, Moss, the fuck are you doing, man? He's like, it's like 2 a.m. Right. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, he's surprised that we're in there. He's very surprised that he ran into us. He's taken back. He searches his head. You can see him kind of searching through his head real quick. He's like, oh, I was just coming to check on my uniform, make sure that it was all ready for final inspection. I look at him, I'm like, Moss, your fucking underwear is just soaked. You pissed your pants, bro. You pissed your fucking pants again, man. Don't give us that checking on your uniform shit. Here's some new sheets and get the fuck out of here. Like, you fucking asshole.
Right.
Don't give me that.
Just admit that you piss on yourself and just, you got to own up to it, You got to embrace it. Yeah, you know what? I am the guy with a loose bladder. That's me. Just admit it. It's not a big deal.
That's me. I would not want to party with that guy. We had one guy in college who he liked doing 2 things. He liked drinking half a bottle of vodka in like 3 minutes. And then he liked blacking out and pissing his pants. As they're out there in the world. You don't want to be one of them.
I had a friend like that too in college. He would do that, like the same thing. He would party and then, like you said, drink a bunch of Pop-Off and then just take it to that extreme. And I remember one time we were hanging out and it was at this person's house and they had a spiral staircase, kind of like a staircase thing.
Yeah.
And he had passed out in the middle of the night and he woke up middle of the night. And in his drunken stupor, he stumbled all the way over to the very top of this spiral staircase, whipped his dick out and pissed right down the center of the thing and just pissed everywhere. And then put his dick back in his pants and went back to sleep. And then in the morning, there was fucking piss everywhere. And then he was just like, it wasn't me. Everybody knew it was him, but he said, it wasn't me. You guys are all liars. You guys are all full of shit. But little did he know is the girl that he was with snitched him out.
Oh, damn.
And was like, no. He was going to piss in the bed. I kicked him out of bed. And it was about a 5-second endeavor. He went somewhere close by and he pissed. And then he got back in bed. So she snitched on him. So, you got to own up to it. You
got to own up to it. You got to be a man about it. I've not pissed a bed, but I have definitely ghost pissed before in places that I shouldn't. So that I'm guilty of for sure. But we had this guy in the backyard of the fraternity house who, we're out there partying hard. And he's 3 sheets to the wind. This guy can't see 6 inches in front of his face. Like he's at Jim Irsay levels of fucked up. And you see him, we had all these plants in the backyard that we had to replace every single spring because all we did was fertilize them with urine and never do anything else to fucking take care of them. So he's had to dig up the corpses every spring and then, try to avoid all the dead Oscar and goldfish that we murdered too because of our neglect. But this guy walks over there and he unzips his pants, but he does not unzip his pants. Like in his own mind, like he's like, boom, I got it, got my cock out. And then he just stands there, hand on the wall, and he just wets himself. And just stand there. Everyone's just standing around watching him wet himself. But just like all the Bills quarterbacks seem to do. So we're going to enjoy that on Monday night. PG, you got closing thoughts as we get ready for week 8 of the NFL?
No, I'm just sitting here watching this game. They're up 17-10, or no, 23-10. The Texans, they just scored another touchdown. A very shitty drive, or 21-10. Terrible drive, but they somehow managed to get a touchdown against the lowly Dolphins. So, yeah, nothing really else to say, man, but I'm excited about these poop and pee stories. I got fucking plenty of those. I'll save them for another day, though.
We'll save those, but we got a whole rest of the NFL season. We might have to save those for the off season when shit gets a little bit dry for July. We'll need some material for July, so we'll hang on to those. Everybody else, you have a great time. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you back here Sunday night to recap Week 8 of the NFL.